Hello everyone and welcome to another Vintage Cube video here on my YouTube channel. Today I'm playing a 64 player event, which is, as always, single elimination, which means it can be swift or we get to play a marathon. I'm gonna open my draft here with a Grief. I thought about Retrofitter Foundry. That card is awesome if you have like artifact or token synergies. Valerian Academy, Skull Clamp, that kind of stuff. And from those two cards, I think there's a reasonably big drop-off. So I'm just going to take the Grief here. Also, conveniently, the only black card in the pack. With a Bloom Command doesn't really count. So yeah, I mean, Grief is great when you pitch it. Grief is great when you hardcast it. I like black as a color. Decent start. Wow, this pack is something. So the good news is we're definitely going to be taking a great card out of this pack. The bad news is it always hurts to, ship an insane card. So I'm going to take Animate Dead here. I think Animate Dead versus Fury is super close to begin with, but already having the Grief, yeah, it's just Fire Covenant. That was the next card I was going to talk about. It's just Animate Dead, right? Passing Fury never feels great. Hopefully we can wheel Fire Covenant out of this booster. Maybe the Triome. Yeah, I don't know. So Animate Dead, well, the thing about this card is it's insane if you reanimate like big things, but it's also just great if you reanimate something that you thought seized out of your opponent's hand or griefed, or you reanimate your own grief, you counterspell your opponent's whatever, and you reanimate it. That card is just super, super good at a lot of stages of the game. Now we have another interesting one. I really like how this draft is going because it's going to be not like most drafts. So a card like Force Negation I would usually snap up here and be happy with, but I think I'm supposed to take Recurring Nightmare and see if I can, get rid of all the reanimation stuff in the packs and end up with everything that's opened. I think that has a lot of value. A card like Recurring Nightmare. So first of all, just reanimating Griselbrand, Atraxa, Archon, obviously great. But this card can do some like value things with, let's say, Ophiomancer, other things that create tokens. So yeah, I'm just gonna take Recurring Nightmare here and see how far this strategy can take me. Okay, another interesting choice here. So Deep Cavern Bat is basically a good version of Mesmeric Fiend. I mean, I already like Mesmeric Fiend, so this is just a straight up upgrade. That's awesome. So I'm definitely looking at that card. The other card I'm looking at is surprisingly going to be Delighted Halfling. So green-black I like as a color combination because you can have like a green-black mid-range deck with some incidental reanimation stuff, and the black the green fatties that are good to natural order into and that sort of stuff. They're also very serviceable reanimation targets. So for me, it's staying on color with a decent card or taking a slightly better card and speculating on green. Not an easy choice. I'm going to go with the bat for now. What do we have here? We have a Trumpeting Carnosaur, which is a good reanimation target. Not quite there with the best of them. But there is a Dismember. I'm actually very interested in the Dismember. I mean, I'm going to play Dismember in any deck, but just having, a great removal spell is awesome. There's Jace the Mind Sculptor here, which is not bad. I don't hate Jace the Mind Sculptor. I think I'm just looking to be a bit more lean, I would say. Collective Brutality, honorable mention to that card. Let's see, did we learn anything from this pack regarding what our second color is going to be? Huh. So here it's between Magda and Sheldog Isle. Right now, I basically have to ask myself, do I think it's more realistic I go blue or more realistic I go red at this point? And I think that's very close. I like red-black, like Harvester, trying to wield the Fire Covenant. We have both Land Cyclers in those colors as well. Okay, I'm going to take Magda as my first non-black card after having passed Jace and Sheldog Isle and Force Negation. So hopefully that cements one or two players in blue, and I can kind of try and clear the way here. Let's see if we can wheel the Fire Covenant, then I'm going to be really happy. Huh. Tough pick here. Grave Titan is strong. It's a hard castable fatty that also works with our reanimation stuff. I'm going to take that over the land here. I really like the land, and I want to end up with the land, so to speak. Not that land. I don't think that's possible. But I want to end up with some fixing here, ideally. Okay, so last new pack here. Molten Collapse is a decent mid-range card. Doomsday is a fun one, but I think Doomsday only combos with blue cards in the cube. Yeah, let's just take this. Molten Collapse is good if we end up 2-color mid-range with a broken angle. Then that card is just going to be solid, right? Let's see if we can wheel the Ragdos card. I don't think it's the first pack, is it? Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it's this one. I mean, wheeling Fire Covenant would be huge. If I don't wheel it, I'm not too scared, because that doesn't necessarily mean anybody else is in black-red, directly. Because you can just splash Fire Covenant in a lot of decks. So Arc Trail is not Fire Covenant, but it's reasonably close. I'll take it here. Also, maybe I have to think here. Is it possible that I'm like, no, I'm not going to go like mono red splash, animate dead, basically. That's not going to do it. I actually like, oh, baby, I already wrote off the Fire Covenant. What did I first pick? Oh, Grief. Oh, it was in the second pack. I mean, okay, beautiful. So I take Fire Covenant over another fixer, which is not the best, but I hope to get like Blood Crypt in a fetch, Badlands in a fetch. Also the 2 land cyclers I talked about. Those cards are pretty awesome. We have both the Oliphant and the Troll. Okay, awesome start to the draft. We have picked 10 cards that we're all happy to play in our final version of the deck, so can't complain about that. The Magda versus Sheldog pick is kind of what enabled this, I would say. So this goes to show how much actually paying attention to what can realistically wheel, not like any dream scenario of like, oh, I want to wheel this insane fatty, or insane bomb, but it's like realistically, what can I wheel? And maybe that's a tiebreaker for later. Like here when I have to pick. Magda is a worse card than Sheldog Isle, right? But red was more likely to be my second color, and that's the tiebreaker. Anyway, very good start to the draft here. Cards like Entomb, Demonic Tutor, Red-Black Fixing. Red-Black Fixing is going to be huge here. So do I want Trespasser as a sideboard card versus Pseudo Mirror and red? Or do I want a card that can like put together my deck? I think I'm supposed to take the top here, because I'm the reanimation guy in this pod. Yeah, these cards I'm not scared of. Let's just get rid of the Reservoir. There's an argument for taking the other 2 as well. We are in the same pod. We're going to play against our opponents, which also means I passed a Trespasser, because I, wanted to improve my deck a little bit with the top, potentially at least. Reanimate, Necromancy, Entomb, Demonic Tutor. Good ways to, put the creatures in my yard. Those include, like, obviously, Fable, Liliana, stuff like that. I really want another tier 1 fatty. I'm happy with the Grave Titan. I think that's great, because it's also hard castable, especially if I get something like Dark Ritual or Mana Vault. Or Monolith, I guess. Yeah, this is a cool start to the draft. Definitely a cool start to the draft. Lots to build into here. Let's say the black just keeps on flowing. I could easily be like mono black splash the Fire Covenant. I wouldn't hate that. Patiently waiting for the next pack to get opened. Okay. We opened Black Lotus with an Ancestral Recall, which is awesome. So what I'm looking to get out of this pack, aside from the Black Lotus, which I'm just gonna snap up, is to wield the Blackcliff Cliffs. That would be awesome. That would be very awesome. Let's see. Ancestral Recall, Mother of Runes, Double Fetch, Seed Shark, Channel, Workshop, Pyromancer. Yeah, the Blackcliff Cliffs is gonna be here. Nice Lotus. Very nice Lotus. Okay, so what can we do with that Lotus? We can make a Grave Titan disappear. Now we're real magicians. What can we do with the Lotus in this deck? Hardcast Grave Titan is huge, but mostly we're probably going to do some like double spelling, like some broken Recurring Nightmare plus a way to discard a card, something along those lines, but Lotus can always do some wacky things, especially the powering out big things ahead of schedule or double spelling. Obviously very happy with that, and my next door neighbor is going to be very happy with the Ancestral Recall. Okay, this is a great pack to take the Blood Crypt. I really wanted the currency converter as well, but I really think I have to work on my mana. It's just irresponsible to have 0 non-basics, and we're trying to, have... We need two different colors early in the game a lot of the time, so let's take that. Are we realistically going to wield that Abrade? I doubt it. I'm very happy with the Blood Crypt pickup. That also adds future value to hopefully the Troll or Oliphant that were the only ones who won at the table. That's still the dream. Those cards are just great. They improve your mana and just 1-2 punch with Animate Dead, great with Recurring Nightmare. Okay, so Lotus Blood Crypt, that's my first 2 picks out of pack 2. I'm not going to complain about that, that's for sure. Let's see if we can get our hands on something like Gristlebrand or Archon. That would be huge. Okay, this pack is not anything to write home about. So do I want to cycle with Bauble? Let's see, what could the upside of Bauble be? So future Lurrus, I guess? Or do I just want a creature removal and, play a solid game of Magic? Let's go for solid for now. Does Bauble combo with anything else? Really not sure about that. Also, Bloodchief's Thirst is bolstering my black count. I do play Grief, so that's not nothing. It's not a big tiebreaker. It's just something, Let's say you can't decide at all, and then you think about, oh, this is black. My black count needs to be high. Okay, I'll take this card. Okay, so it's shaping up nicely, but we have some way to go. That's oftentimes how it is with combo decks, where you kind of have to come. First of all, you need the A plus B, and second of all, you want the consistency. Okay, Fable of the Mirror Breaker, after just having taken Bloodchief's Thirst, that's definitely a change of pace. Love that card. Would have loved the Bitter Triumph as well. I think Fable is just the better individual card. Really like Bitter Triumph as well. Like, get rid of a Grave Titan, kill your opponent's best creature. Next turn, reanimate it. That's just great. Huh, okay. This is a pseudo brick, I would say. So now it has to do with, are we speculating on Blue Splash, or are we taking Shadow Spear and trying to be good against the aggressive decks of the pod? I mean, we already passed Ancestral Recall, so it's like Time Walk only. I'm sure you can think of 1 or 2 more cards. Okay, let's take the Shadow Spear over the Underground Sea. Not the most exciting pick, but I went from super excited about Lotus and Blood Crypt to, oh, Bloodchief's Thirst, okay. To, whoa, Fable of the Mirror Breaker, to, oh, Shadow Spear, I guess that works. Look, Restless Vents is just, it's one of the better non-dual fixers. 2/3 menace that loots is great, so this card is both a discard outlet and fixes my mana. Bone Shards is creature removal and discard outlet. It's tough. I'm gonna take the land here. I really just want to cast my spells, and it seems like I'm in the right colors, so I don't think I'll have a problem like filling out the deck with serviceable cards. The thing is, the removal spell, the Bone Shards, that is gonna help like my absolute best version of the deck. Because it's like turn 1, kill your mana dork, turn 2, reanimate. There's a Faithless Looting. That is a good one. That both digs for brokenness and yeah, and dumps a fatty in my yard. So take that over the Nagila. Faithless Looting, it's actually been a while since I've had that card in a deck where it was good. But hopefully it's going to be good in this deck. Like, right now, it's just the Grave Titan. So, not the best right now. I also only have 4 creatures. Is that true? I guess Fable doesn't count in that, so... Yeah. Sometimes you just... I'm hoping I get, like, some bread-and-butter cards, like the Red-Black Bloodtithe Harvester, maybe, like, Ophiomancer, just stuff like that that's gonna be a nice glue to the deck, making Recurring Nightmare more relevant, stuff like that. So how much removal have I... I've already got Dismember, Bloodchief's Thirst, Arc Trail, Molten Collapse, and Fire Covenant. That's quite a lot. Huh, is there any way we can do something with Emrakul in this deck? I mean, there's Sneak and Breach, through the Breach that is, in the cube. We didn't see them. It's sad that there's a Haste reanimation card in here alongside it, but I'm not taking it over anything. Let's take the Emrakul here. I mean, if I get Shallow Grave, I'll play it because of, you know, Looting, Fable. Those are good cards, right? Oh, okay, so both Blackcleave Cliffs and Wooded Foothills wield. I think I'm supposed to take Wooded Foothills because I have a Blood Crypt. Funnily enough. Yeah, let's not complain about that. It's good. Now we have 3 lands to improve our mana. That works. So this pack was a bit slow on the reanimation side of things, but we did pick up some good, just good cards for the colors. And the Lotus. So we're doing great here, but again, another great fatty, another way to reanimate, Entomb a Demonic Tutor. That's like top of my wish list. Yeah, this pack had nothing. I remember this pack. So can we hate draft anything reasonable out of this pack? I'm just gonna take the Aberration. I think that's most likely to make a person's deck and be good. While, of course, Citadel and Jace have higher ceiling. Here's exactly nothing. Is there a way that this Yawgmoth's Will is good? Because I have Black Lotus. Let's just put it here on top of the Lotus and we'll think about it. It's been a while since I've played with Yawgmoth's Will. As a kid, this was like almost like an unglued card of Vintage. Like, this was so absurd. These days, it's, I'll say, role player. And I would also say that nostalgia plays a big factor into people registering Yawgmoth's Will. But here, could it be good? I guess in oh, I missed the Ophiomancer the first go around. Is that better than Mutt? Let's see. Yeah, I think making the Recurring Nightmare good is awesome. Yeah, I missed the Ophiomancer, and I even missed the Mutt. That pack must have been super exciting. Let's see, that was 5th pick. Wasn't that like Emrakul or something? I'm not sure. Speculate on the Putrid Imp. I really don't like that card. It's just so all in. But maybe it's okay if I play Recurring Nightmare. Then, what do you know? Then maybe I pick up like Smuggler's Copter, and I want small creatures to crew, and... Ah, the Bone Shards came around. Okay. This is cool. Can I even spike a nice 15th pick? I don't remember when where the Corpse Dance was. It was with the Emrakul, so yeah, it's probably too late for that. Concealing Courtyard. Okay, so we got some role players in the end. I really like getting the Bone Shards. We didn't get the better Bone Shards, which is, yeah, I can't remember the name, the 2-mana one. Okay, so what do we have here? Archon of Cruelty is sick. So right now, the Archon of Cruelty would have had... That card has to be discarded to either Looting, Imp, Shards, Fable. But I think that's good enough. I mean, there's also time to get Entomb here. I'm taking it over Chain Lightning, and I'm not going to wheel Chain Lightning. So realistically, I'm going to get one card out of this pack, and that's going to be Archon. Love that card. So how are we doing on playables? Let's just put this Yogwill to the sideboard. It's kind of confusing me right now. So where are we at on playables? If I add 16 lands, I'm at 19 lands on the Lotus, so obviously that's gonna make 40 cards total, but it's not an ideal combination, so we have some work to do here. That's cool. Okay, so Xander's Lounge improves our mana. Not bad. Fatal Push, bread and butter, kill your creature, move on with life. Not bad. Fiery Confluence can do a lot of damage. But it's only good if my mana base is close to, let's say, 50-50 red and black. That might be the case. I have a lot of cheap removal. Maybe Fiery Confluence is what I want here. It's kind of unique. I love Gix. It's like a sleeper card if you have a lot of small creatures. But I think we wheel that Gix. Okay, so you take Fiery Confluence here if you believe your mana is good enough and you have enough cheap removal. Okay. I like Fiery Confluence. That card can just break games. There's Shallow Grave. I think I have to take that card because Shallow Grave is insane with Emrakul. It's decent with Titan. It's good with Archon. That's how I would rank it. And we actually have quite a few ways to cheat that Emrakul into play. That's like cheap on mana. That's the most important thing, right? If let's say it's you need 4 mana to discard the Emrakul and then 2 mana on top, then it becomes a bit less realistic. So out of this pack, I'm looking to wheel the Vile Smasher. I'm going to be sad about the Soul Guide Lantern potentially disrupting me throughout the games, but it is what it is. Ooh, baby. Necromancy is a very, very good pickup here. The only thing better would have been Entomb, I think. Now I have Animate Dead, Shallow Grave, Recurring Nightmare, and Necromancy. That's a lot of reanimation. Let's take that card over a fetch, I guess. For a Monolith for Hardcast Grave Titan is not nothing. And there's the Troll. I've actually been patiently waiting on the Land Cyclers because those cards are just, oh, cycle turn 1, turn 2 Animate Dead. Then the opponent's in trouble, and they improve my mana. That's a huge pickup. The Troll is so good. Also helps with double red for Confluence. Already put something there for Recurring Nightmare. That's beautiful. Okay, this pack is going to have a good one as well. I'm going to take Duress. I really like Duress, just clearing the way or like disrupting my opponent from doing anything broken. Just always going to be good. The other cards are, I mean, I wouldn't be happy to play any of these other cards, but Duress, I'm happy to play. So right now, I'm actually at what I would say a complete deck. So now I'm only looking for upgrades. That could be an upgrade for something like Top, Putrid Imp, and I guess something like Arc Trail is not mandatory to play in the main deck. Let's say I have to make a few cuts in the end. I'm probably going to favor something that like helps brokenness. That could be playing Putrid Imp over Arc Trail, because it actually enables the reanimation stuff that just wins the games, right? Yeah, I'm really confident in this deck. I think it can do some great things. This Troll just improve the mana, helps the black count, combos with early reanimation. Like, this is not Entomb, but it is very strong to make use of your reanimation cards. Let's see if we can finish strong here. I do believe we have a shot at Entomb, like 1 or 2 packs. And I don't see a reason for my opponents to pick Entomb if it's in the draft. It's good to be excited about stuff like that. or let's say confident. But let's be honest, the chances aren't that high. Curtains alongside Dreams of Steel and Oil. Do I have enough creatures for a Recurring Nightmare to be good? Would be a reasonable tiebreaker here. Also, Hanger Bag is good with Recurring Nightmare. Let's just reserve that for now. Hanger Bag, good with Recurring Nightmare. Curtains does discard the opponent, though, so that my Reanimation can... 2 Reanimator cards that can target opponent's yard. Okay. Let's take that. Not sure if I played Ritual and Hymn in the same pack. I can't say I like it. I'm going to take the Hymn to Torak. I feel like that card is just always going to be solid, and this deck can cast it. It's sad to take it over Dark Ritual. So let's see. If this holds, I'm not... Yeah, this was the opening pack. I didn't expect to wheel anything, and I didn't. So let's take Urte. I can just counter a mid-game game winner. Oh, okay, nobody's freezing or breaching, I would say. Am I gixing anyone? I don't think so. Don't think I'm trying to do gix things. Am I looking to Torsten? Torsten is worse than what I already have. Do I want 4? I don't really know. Let's see. Sensei's Divining Top. That card can help a lot. I did wheel the Vile Smasher, which I may or may not play. I'm actually not sure at the moment. Vile Smasher is... It does some chip damage, but maybe that's not what this... I mean, with Fiery Confluence, it's 10 damage to the face. Tough to say. So, let's see. Is the top any good? I think top is good. Bone Shards, is that good? Gets rid of Emrakul. Like looting. But it's like on demand. You can do it when it suits you. Set up the Shallow Grave. Do I want another... Yeah, that's the thing. Do I want another target? Then I would cut Vile Smasher. Do I cut Magda? Almost can't be true, right? Do I cut Molten Collapse? The thing about Magda is it kind of has to be played on curve. Rain of Filth. Yeah, I'm not going to play these cards. What happens if I go Mono Black Splash, Looting and Fable, only trying to reanimate? Is Yawgmoth's Will... Oh, I did pass the Ritual, but I took him to Torak, so that's fine. What if I go... Yeah, this is like the most focused reanimation I can be. Shade, I don't think is terrible. It's very close to some of the red cards. If I'm just going to round out the deck being almost mono black, Underdog and Rankle are kind of similar. Maybe I take Rankle because it discards a fatty from my hand, right? Each player discards a card. Okay, so what if I add 11 lands here? Then I would be at 14 lands with Troll and Lotus. Maybe I have to cut 1 card. So that's probably going to be Misery Shadow, because that card is just a creature, right? Everything else helps with the combo. Or clearing the way, I guess, in the case of Curtains and Bat. I actually think this is the way to go. And then against Weenies and Artifacts, I can sideboard into this card. Weenies, I also have the Arc Trail. Like big creature, I have this. But just think of it this way. Now, all cards in my deck, aside from Fire Covenant, helps set up the combo or clear the way for the combo. Well, almost. I did have a few more removal spells, but I think you get my point. I think I'm gonna build the deck like this. So let's see. I have a land cycler somewhere. There it is, and a Lotus. If I add, then I'm at 15 lands, land cycler, Lotus. Yeah, I think it's perfect. Question is how many mountains I can run in here, because I really want to cast him to Torok. What if I go Blood Crypt, Vents, Wooded, Troll, that's 4. Lotus, I guess it's 5. 6, 7. And then I have a lot of swamps. Just need to draw 1 red source. Unless I want to go looting plus flashback looting the same turn, but that's going to be so niche. Wonder if this is just perfect mana base for this deck. Okay. I like this a lot. Like, we ended up with a pretty focused Reanimator deck with the potential to do, like, super broken stuff, but we also have solid things to do, like kill a few creatures, play Fable, play Grief, stuff like that, which is exactly what you want, right? I mean, ideally, you get cards that just produce fast fatties all the time, tutors and tombs, stuff like that. But when we can't, I think we did a reasonable job. Also, realizing I didn't need to play these red cards, even though they're super solid. I think playing these cards is gonna benefit me more. I mean, I'm gonna submit this deck and cross my fingers for the matches. I'll see you guys there. All right. First round, quarterfinals of the first draft pod in the 64-player Vintage Cube Draft. I'm playing Black Red Reanimator, and I won the die roll. Not much to say about this hand. This is just a keep, and then we kind of hope our draw steps and top will yield some brokenness. Let's lead on the curtains. Then we can go turn 2 bat, turn 3 flip the curtains, and just play, you know, a normal mid-range game. We're playing against Yendrek, which is not a player I know. Plains Retrofitter Foundry. So that means the Retrofitter Foundry I found in my opening pack went all the way around, which is like all the way towards that guy, which is 5th pick. Drawing Putrid Imp makes it so that... Huh. That's actually a card that's tempting to play out now, because then I can go top... No, that's too mana intensive. Let's just continue with the bat plan here. I was trying to see if I could somehow get Archon into play like a lot faster. Okay, our opponent has Abrade and Stoneforge Mystic. Let's take the Abrade here, because if the opponent plays Stoneforge Mystic, that's like a pretty bad play. I can just take the equipment with Concealing Curtains. And while my opponent is maybe only relegated to, you know, grinding a little bit with Retrofitter, I can most likely get to top. Well, that's out of the window. The opponent is okay trading in the Skull Clamp already. Recurring Nightmare. Wow. Yeah, I have to get... Okay, so first things first. Recurring Nightmare was an insane draw. Second of all, I need to get that Skull Clamp out of there, because... Ooh. Ooh. Goblin Welder. Okay, I understand now why that changed things for the opponent. Okay. Interesting. So let's see. If I draw a land, I make an Archon next turn. That would be pretty awesome. So what am I supposed to take here? What if I take Welder now? Yeah, let's just pick the Welder. Maybe I was not supposed to take anything. Magic got hard there for a second. So the thing is, Skull Clamp is pretty good against Archon. Huh. Let's see if the Putrid Imp comes up clutch. Opponent has Clamp, Mountain, Plains, 2 unknowns in hand. And the opponent has an abrade under my bat. I'm chipping away for a little bit of damage here. Trying to make the game like attacking my opponent on two angles. Let's say they have a tough time dealing with evasive damage, flying, some life gain. And then all of a sudden I also have like a big engine that's kind of ending the game in a few swings if left unchecked. So the opponent's on the classic Team Denmark colored aggro with a little bit of artifact splash in it. Let's see. Dragon Engine. That's for now just a 2/2 double striker. That's cool. No attack with the Stoneforge. So the opponent is obviously planning some stuff here. Wow, enemy dead, the draw. Okay. Well, then I'm gonna go Putrid Imp. I'm gonna make it a flyer, and then I'm gonna animate dead the Archon. That was a bestial draw. I guess a land would have been the same. Then I can go Putrid Imp, Recurring Nightmare, bring back the Archon. Yeah, this is bad news for the opponent. They have to sacrifice a creature here, which means my menace creature gets in. Draw another land. It's not terrible. Play at the top. Let's get in for 4. More damage. So now the opponent, step 1 is deal with that Archon. But then, excuse me, then my point before was they also have to deal with, the chip damage coming in here from the flyer and the menace guy. The menace eye, so to speak. And this is where attacking on multiple axes can be, even more devastating. Animate Dead, what a clutch draw. Putrid Imp is like a very strong enabler, a terrible individual card. Okay, so the opponent attacks here. I'm not sure what to make of it. So let's see. If the opponent has something like Lightning Bolt, my Archon gets traded off. Maybe I just take the damage because it doesn't... I'm not scared of it at all. So this could be something like... I'm trying to think about Wrath effects. Maybe... Yeah, I guess it wasn't Wrath effect. Huh. So... I was probably supposed to look on upkeep. I got a little bit flustered here, I guess, from thinking about what was going on with the opponent's attack. Let's attack here. Imagine only a card like Emperor would be annoying. Opponent has to sacrifice a creature here. Gonna be tough for the opponent, I would say. Sacrificing the engine. That card is like a strong play from the yard, but let's see. Opponent is deciding on the discard. I already know about Skull Clamp. I think they're down to Skull Clamp and 2 unknowns. That last card, the one they're not discarding, the one that's not Skull Clamp, that has to be a banger. Opponent goes to 6 here from the Archon trigger. If it's the Emperor, the opponent stays alive. I draw Black Lotus, which is funny. But let's see. There's the Emperor. That exiles the Archon. I don't think I have any... I think I might as well activate the top here. Huh. Let's see. Does my opponent die if I Fire Covenant my own Archon here? Fizzle the life? Let's see. Can I get to Threshold? I guess that's my question. I don't think I... Well, let's see. Let's do a count here. Opponent is trying to kill that. I can draw with top, Fire Covenant, and I think I'm one card short. One card short of getting Threshold. Let's see. Fire Covenant is 1. Archon and Animate Dead. That's 3. And then I have 3 more in hand. Okay, so we draw with top. Then I read the Fire Covenant. Healing 6 here so I can get it back later. Fizzling the life from the opponent. Well, later. And by later, I mean later this turn. Opponent goes to 1. I go Lotus Recurring Nightmare Archon. Okay. It took me a while, but that's brutal. Brutal stuff. Black Lotus Recurring Nightmare. Oh my god. Yeah. Oh my god. Okay, it took me a while, but the deck got there. Let's put it that way. The deck got there. What an unreasonable run out here. Okay, so Fiery Confluence and Arc Trail, they both look insane against this guy. So when we do that, we have to change our mana base as well. So what is it that we don't want against that deck? There's something to be said about cutting one of the fatties. Is it the Shallow Grave ankle? I can go minus Shallow Grave, minus Emrakul. Is that reasonable? Then I have the 3 fatties that are good with Necromancy, Recurring Nightmare, and Animate Dead. Still keep the spot removal. I get a little more sweeper value. I get the big play here. I think I'm going to try this. I'll lose a little bit of potential explosiveness, but I gain more like comeback mechanisms. Potential 2-for-1s like Arc Trail. I think Fiery Confluence, just by the cards I saw there, is just going to be awesome. But there's something to be said about the fact my opponent has Skull Clamp and a tutor for it makes it less likely that I win the old-fashioned way, I guess. Me having Fire Covenant, Fiery Confluence, Arc Trail is like it's kind of dragging it in the other direction, which makes it less likely that they win with turn 2 creature, turn 3 creature draws. I guess that's overall a win for me. I did show them Black Lotus double reanimation Archon that game. I even showed them the Fire Covenant because I wanted to make a wise guy play. A wise guy play that took the average intelligent guy a long time to figure out. But we got there. We got there. Black Lotus Recurring Nightmare. A nice being tapped out and the opponent thinks, oh, okay, I kind of have a shot here. That was just the perfect sequence. Okay, so this hand has a lot of potential, like kill creature turn 1, play bat, play Ophiomancer. When I find red, I start digging for stuff. We keep that hand any day of the week. Rabbit Battery, I think I just kill that off the bat, as it were. Ooh, Animate Dead. So now I'm getting dangerously close to doing something broken. Well, I guess not really. Let's see. Let's see how this develops. Opponent passes turn 2 here. I miss, which is unfortunate. I think this is a game where I can stumble a tiny bit. Huh. So Portable Hold takes care of this card anyway, and the other cards are not being... Okay, Mox Pearl. I read it as Mox Pearl. Mox Opal. Okay, so my opponent needs double red. That's a problem for me, but I'm not sure taking one of the double. Yeah, I don't think that helps. Let's take Portable Hole and hope my opponent doesn't draw Mountain now. That would be brutal, actually. Opponent did draw the Mountain. Now I'm in trouble, I think. Let's see. Opponent kills off that card. And I draw the Mountain. Huh. So they get that card back. They have, okay, their hand is Portable Hole, Plains, and Goldspan. What on earth do I do here? Huh. The thing is, the Portable Hole killing the enemy dead is super powerful. What am I supposed to do here? I'm getting a Goldspan in the face next turn. Looting digs now, Fable digs next turn. Ophiomancer can make it complicated to keep the Chandra alive, which I do like in theory. It doesn't help to animate the bat, so that's not a concern. Maybe getting the Fable going is strong. Huh. Tough call. I'll get the Fable going. Yeah, I don't know. My opponent can Portable Hold a token and play Goldspan. And then I didn't really... I'm not sure I got anywhere. Well, maybe it's good to get the Portable Hole out of the equation. I feel like I have to hit something next turn, but I am getting a lot of draws to do that, I think. Let's see here. If my opponent makes 2 red, play Goldspan, attack, play Portable Hole, kill Shaman. Opponent does not go for that play. Well, I guess they can, but then they're sacrificing Treasure Token on second main phase. Okay. The opponent looked for something better to do with Chandra. Reasonable. I take 4 here, so cards like Fiery Confluence are worse. Portable Hole on the Goblin. Okay, so that card is gone. Rankle. Rankle is actually... Wow, wait a minute here. Oh, deals combat damage to a player. I thought I could do it all here. But that's not terrible. Maybe I'm supposed to... Is Fiery Confluence going to be good this game? Maybe discard Confluence and... So Rankle kills Chandra. But maybe that's too... maybe that's not ambitious enough. If I play Rankle, killing off the Goldspan is really not. I'm going to discard the 2 4-drops. Drawing not much here, to be honest. I think I'm supposed to looting. Let's see if we can find something great. We didn't find anything great. So where does that leave me? Does that leave me with let's reanimate Rankle and kill Chandra? Is that good? And then next turn, okay. I mean, I'll go for that. I'll play land. I think that's reasonable. So the plan is now to reanimate Rankle, attack Chandra dead, take 4 from the Goldspan, and then play Ophiomancer, attack next turn with Rankle to maybe sack Ophiomancer and heal with the dragon. It's something. Kill Chandra. Get the like continued source of resources off the table, while hopefully my opponent doesn't have the best draws. Some of those draws are dealt with by Arc Trail, and then maybe if I can like stall out the game, I have a looting and a flip Jiki, maybe I have a shot. The follow-up here is going to be exciting. If the follow-up is something that doesn't die to Arc Trail, I'm in trouble. The follow-up killed my Rankle. That also puts me in trouble. Let's see what the last card in our opponent's hand is. Season Pyro. Ooh, yeah, that's awesome. That's very awesome for the opponent. Alongside a Palantir, that's a lot of action here. I sincerely doubt we can beat this. Yeah, I guess you draw an extra card. Black Lotus is a... I need to hit, like, the perfects off the looting, I think. I did not hit the perfects off the looting. So... yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, game 3. We saw a lot of cards here. We didn't do anything broken. That's how it is. The opponent played some very resilient threats. That's the word I'm looking for. And in that kind of game, the resilient threat kind of game, or like Molten Collapse is great. Maybe that's better than Arc Trail. I didn't really see all the... I guess they play Rapid Battery. I guess Arc Trail is bound to be a 2-for-1, especially if I cut it, right? What about cutting Grief? Is that insane? Do I ever want to pitch against that deck? Is cutting Grief insane? Is cutting Grief a insane idea? Is cutting Rankle insane? Rankle dumps. Let's see how much I have here. Shards, that's 1. Imp 2. Looting 3. Fable 4. I don't think I'm supposed to cut the Rankle. But what am I then supposed to cut? I think we're down to top or Arc Trail. Top or... Okay, I'll try and cut the top since my opponent is sometimes fast in those colors, but I'm really not... I'm not sure about that. If you let the Molten Collapse stay in the board, I'm totally cool with that. If you bring out Arc Trail, totally cool with that. Like, okay, so this is like my mid-range kind of draw. So first turn Curtain, turn 2 Hymn, turn 3 Ophiomancer. That does a good job against a lot of white-red openings. But no brokenness in sight. Opponent's on a mulligan here. I can't say I hate that when I have Hymn to Torok. Ophiomancer is kind of a cool card. I wonder where this card was printed first. I mean, if it was ever like a standard card or whatever, it seems quite powerful. This has so many synergies with the small creatures, like keeping back fatties, full claim, recurring nightmare, all that stuff. One passes. Draw another swamp, so I don't take damage from hymning. That's fine. Hymn to Torok here can potentially do a lot, right? So this is just good for a longer game. I got rid of 2 like serious cards that's gonna be good against me. Staff, that's another annoying one. Staff is super annoying. I wonder what I'd do here. But look at my opponent's hand. Maybe. Let's see what the curtains reveal. Chandra and a Braid. Yeah, we don't... Chandra is a good card. You can have another one instead. I have to remember about that Abrade because if my opponent has mana up and I play Ophiomancer, I don't get any value from it. Arid Mesa gone. Opponent fetches. The opponents did a good job of just playing, good haymakers. Yeah, perfect. Okay, perfect. Does this just do what I think it does? Kill artifact, sweep for 1. That was a great card to draw for this situation. Fiery Confluence, kill artifact. 1 damage to each creature. Yeah, that was a great card. Opponent is left with a Braid and 1 unknown in hand. Now the pendulum has definitely swung in my favor. Let's see if I can keep it up. Maybe this is battery stay back. It's not. It's battery attack. Okay. Huh. So the thing is here, I think I'm supposed to quote-unquote bait with Ophiomancer on the Abrade because Rankle is gonna that's evasive damage that might as well take home the game, right? So attack my opponent down to 10. Play Ophiomancer, highly expect to get it Abraded end of turn. Play my tap land because Molten Collapse is not an instant. So right now, if my opponent plays a big creature, I can kill it and keep attacking like big evasive creature. If my opponent does not develop the board, I can start like Rankle, try and finish off my opponent. Arn. Okay. If I draw a land, that would actually be strong because then I can go Molten Collapse the Karn, start working on my opponent's life total. I'll give them a mountain here. Opponent kind of has to attack, right? I have Menace. Land would be insane here. It's a good situation to be in, right? Land is good, spell is good. So Molten Collapse, and then I can eat the last card in my opponent's hand with Rankle. I might as well. Opponent goes to 4. Trigger Rankle. Put this trigger on the stack. Each player discards a card. I mean, I don't know. Then my opponent can't draw a 5-drop. We know about the... Not Glorybringer, but the other one, Goldspan Dragon. Now they have 1 draw to stabilize against a menace creature and a flyer with more abilities. Okay, I mean, Fiery Confluence really just won that game. So my Broken has won a game. My inability to put together Broken has lost the game, and then I just won with a sideboard card. Game 3. That was an insane card. I got rid of a staff that had like double draw in the bank, 1/1 Blade Splasher, and a 3/3 token, maybe even more. Maybe even a 1/1 token from the staff already. Like that was brutal. And then I used the Eye to get rid of Chandra, leave my opponent with a Braid. Then when I drew Rankle, I was so lucky to have like a worse creature to play out. My opponent was in a situation where you kind of have to kill this card. You can't just let it live. They want to use their mana. They don't want to lose to like chip damage. And then I just have the Rankle to punish afterwards. So just everything, I even drew the land so I could double spell here. Because usually drawing 6 lands and 6 spells is not going to, win you a convincing game of Magic. But here, everything just fell into place. And sometimes that's how it is in Cube. Like, I could easily just not draw the Confluence, get grinded out. I'm 0-1, the video ends, right? But now we get to play on, and I'm super excited for that. That's it for the quarterfinals. Next up is the semifinals, and remember, one loss and I'm out. So appreciate it while I'm here. Don't go anywhere. Okay, we're back. Semi-final time here in the first pod of the 64-player Vintage Cube Draft. I have a pretty easy heap here, but I think it's going to be tough to know how to play it out. I'm not really looking for pitch griefing right away necessarily. Maybe I'm supposed to even wait on the looting. So the theory being, let's say my opponent plays like an island turn 1, then maybe I don't care too much about Fire Covenant. They go Forest, Land or Elves. I do care about that card. I do play Hymn to Torok, so I'm going to play Swamp Pass turn 1. A bit unconventional because I could have cast Looting, I could have cast Grief. So this is a bit of a gamble. Celestial Colonnade tells us something about the opponent's deck. Obviously not everything, but it does tell us something. Yeah, let's cast Faithless Looting. Just like go deeper into our deck. Putrid Imp. Putrid Imp is most likely a terrible card. So let's discard. But maybe it's okay to discard Fire Covenant and Wooded Foothills. I think that works. Then I can. Am I supposed to play Putrid Imp? No. Maybe I keep Putrid Imp in my hand because I'm most likely going to flashback Faithless Looting next turn, then turn 4 hardcast Grief. So I want like a bad card in hand. Smuggler's Cobbler is annoying. I can't kill that with this member right now. There's Necromancy, so we're getting there. What I can do is double grief the opponent, but I don't think that's going to get there. Also, maybe my opponent's on like white-blue tempo or something. Let's flashback this looting. Beautiful. Archon is a very, very good draw. Maybe I discard that alongside the Putrid Imp. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. So as things stand right now, make sure to get the graveyard order right with Shallow Grave being in the deck. As things stand right now, I'm looking to make my opponent make their play, then I grief them on the same turn. The thing is, if I grief now, the opponent can kind of plan around the fact that I cleared the way. Also, I might find a worse black card than Rankle or Dismember. There's just a bunch of things here that makes it better to wait, I think. Mother of Runes, so ironically, Fire Covenant would most likely have been a great card. Yeah, I'd really have to think about what to do here because necromancing up the Archon while having picked my opponent's best card out of their hand, that is strong. But there could be like a counter and an exile removal. And then I didn't accomplish that much, but I guess it's fine. Ancient Tomb is a good one. Let's see. Is this Time Walk? Okay. So the opponent is doing a good job here. Time Walking, getting Mother of Runes active. Okay. So now the opponent can ruin response. I guess they don't have to. That's not how it works. It's just like a lord. Okay, so next turn I have pick my opponent's best card, make them sack a creature, and then I have Dismember in case they sacrifice the mother. Yeah, we take that. Plains Pass. Imtatoric is a good one. Not sure I need it. Will I need that or will I want the Rankle? call. Rankle or Hymn post. Probably, I don't need the discard spells. Let's grief the opponent here. Hopefully just take like Plow or something out of the opponent's hand. Okay, that was my biggest fear. The opponent having two answers. What happens if I go... What happens if I go take the Jailer? Okay, my opponent has to discard one of the cards. Okay. So take Solitude. Now, play Necromancy, trigger Archon. Opponent discards, I don't know, Lauren maybe. So I get, yeah, maybe I take Solitude and I try and find a situation where Rankle gets me back the Archon. That's annoying. That's very annoying. I might lose to this. There's so much exile removal. Also wonder what my opponent is gonna sacrifice here. This is tough. Do I shock myself here even? Okay. I like this. This gives me a chance, I think. Opponent taps Mother. A nice draw. Well, maybe not. So let's see. The opponent discarded that, so my opponent's plan is to... Oh, what a mess. So, my opponent's plan is to Palace Jailer the Archon. But the thing is, I can get that back. So let's kill the Mother here. I think that card is going to bring me the most trouble down the line. A1. Okay, so... like this. Kill Mother of Runes. Pass the turn. Opponent is going to Jailer my Archon. And attack for 4. I'm going to attack with Rankle. Get the Monarch. I might make both creatures sacrifice with Rankle. I think that's a reasonable way to play. Rankle. Which is going to hit the opponent. Then I get back Archon. This is like really a slugfest. Time Walk, Solitude, and Jailer. That was a lot. Rankle gets in there. Rankle connects. So let's put this on the stack. So I already get my guy back. So what are we going to do here? Maybe each player discards a card. Each player sacrifices a creature. I want to just clear the board entirely. I think that's reasonable. Maybe, maybe I want the Rankle over the Jailer. I mean, I want the Rankle and the Jailer. Okay, so let's both discard a card. I become the Monarch. Archon enters. Opponent has to sack a creature. And discard a card for both Archon and Rankle, so I get my opponent hellbent here. Oof, too much stuff going on here. What a mess. Bolster my life. We both discard a card. I discard Torsten. Opponent discards their last card. So now, I think I'm going to play a land here because I'm going to draw a card end of turn. Black Lotus. Now my opponent needs like an insane draw to win this game. And they didn't. Wow. That was sanity. The opponent kind of tricked me here with the Colonnade. And then randomly I had a cantrip decision, or Faithless Looting in this case, where discarding Fire Covenant made sense, right? If I'm up against a control deck. But in reality, they're mono white aggro splash Time Walk, which also does something good for my sideboarding. Arc Trail and Fiery Confluence are gonna make the deck for sure. I think I'm supposed to cut the same package as last time. Unless I believe my opponent's deck is so strong that I kind of want to high roll, but I think this is reasonable. Now all of my cards are reasonable. Duress is fine against white despite, that deck being pretty creature heavy. It has like walkers, parallax wave, and stuff. I need to remember to adjust the mana base as well. Adding 2 mountains because I'm actually looking to get to double red at some point. Molten Collapse, is that good? Or do I just want the cards that, can deal with multiple creatures? And or costs 1 mana. I think this is fine. Yeah, I actually think Mono White is a tough matchup because they can actually beat Resolved Archon, and just Resolved Torsten is just, yeah, I draw some, creatures, a couple lands, but if this just gets plowed or jailered, it's really not the best. So I got pretty lucky there. I was able to set up a situation where I had the ability to take back the Monarch. The opponent didn't know that, so they banked on Palace Jailer, exiling Archon rather than the Loran, which would have put Archon back in the yard. So my opponent decided to play around next reanimation spell rather than play around me having a hasty flyer, which is super reasonable. I was just able to kind of see that with full information from the grief and just cross my fingers my opponent took that path, right? There's something to be said that about the fact that I took Solitude out of my opponent's hand and not um, Palace Jailer at first. That so let's say I take Palace Jailer with the grief, then I reanimate. My opponent responds and just exiles the Archon. Then the opponent doesn't lose any cards in hand because Pitch Solitude is like a good play. I draw 1 card off of that exchange, basically. Drain a little bit of life. The fact that I didn't, yeah, well, I don't know. I was just trying to reflect on if my choices should have tipped the opponent off. Probably not. Probably not. So much action. I hope you're enjoying the action. I got kind of confused there in the middle of all of that stuff. I'm happy I ended up with a decent game plan. Okay. This hand has a lot of potential, mostly on the back of Recurring Nightmare and Faithless Looting. I wonder what my first turn play is supposed to be here. I think if my opponent plays a turn 1 creature, I'm more likely to, play the Concealing Curtains, do a little bit of blocking. Like, if I can just play a solid game plan with Fable and Curtains, I have so many good cards in my deck, like Brokenness, Mass Removal, all of that stuff. The rest is a cool one. I think I'll go turn 1 Curtains, then arrest my opponent next turn. So now I have a blocker, and I can go Faithless Looting Duress next turn. The opponent can make a free 1/1 here. I don't really mind. I guess that's what they're going to do since they bother attacking. I don't take any damage. Bloodchief's Thirst is decent, but I think a card like Duress can just get terrible over the course of the game. Yeah, so the opponent has Flicker and Hero, which are decent cards. So Unexpectedly Absent hits the bin. Faithless Looting. Rankle. Is that any good? Opponent's gonna go Flicker Wisp. Rankle is probably pretty bad. Huh. Maybe so is Putrid Imp. But Putrid Imp is also a cheap creature for Recurring Nightmare. Gonna pass here. Opponent can play Flicker Wisp. Get in for 3. I think that's what they're supposed to do. Good news is I have cards like Fire Covenant and Fiery Confluence in my deck. Yeah, the opponent goes Plains, Flicker Wisp. Get in for 3. Sweeper would be sick. No Sweeper. What I can do here is flip and take the hero or get Fable going. I think it's okay to flip here and take the hero. I'm hoping this game comes down to my opponent. Nice Jite, actually. That's not terrible. Huh. Wait, let my opponent keep these cards? Is that insane? It looks like I kind of have to find a mass removal at some point. Mass removal at some point. Jite. I'll try and take the Jite here, which is very annoying. I have to stay back here because I don't want to trade 3 damage at this stage of the game. My opponent plays the 4-drop. I maybe just have to kill it with Bloodchief's Thirst. Yeah, my mid-range plan definitely didn't exactly help this game. Kill the hero. I think. Yeah, let's kill the hero. It's tough because I'm really on my back foot here. And my ways to stabilize. Now I'm kind of just dying slowly. Yeah, so now I'm taking 5 in the air, and it's like Fiery Confluence or bust. Like right now, which is a terrible place to be. That's not Fiery Confluence. What happens if I go Looting Bat? Is that it? Maybe that's it. Looting. Yes, discard Troll, discard. Can I survive right now? I don't think I can, so I need to deploy a creature. I'm not sure I have time for the top. Play Bat. Just as a blocker, like road speed bump. Huh. Okay, so opponent has another hard removal that they're going to get back, which is a good response to the Fiery Confluence I need to draw. I think I'm just dead here. Let's see. Block over there. Oh, yeah, I think I'm just dead, right? No, maybe not. Okay, I'm not dead. So I can get rid of the Flicker Wisp. I can go to 1. Which is 2 with my lifelink. Did the opponent find anything else? Just making a 1/1. Okay. So now I don't even think the Confluence does it. Okay, next game. Yeah, we got run over here by, like, bread and butter white draws. The realization might kick in that my fair plan might not be strong enough, but I think it... If I need to see, like, Arc Trail, Fire Covenant, or Fiery Confluence, then that game is totally different. Even a card like Hymn to Torok. Yeah, okay. Okay, I'm gonna trust my guns here. Here we go. Game 3 for the marbles, the semifinals. Remember, this is single elimination, so this could be all she wrote after the next game. Opponent has showed Palace Jailer, the Channel Enchantment. They've shown Solitude. They've shown a lot of like bad news for my deck. I kind of have to lean on those mass removal cards to take home the bacon. Yeah, this hand has a lot of potential. I'll keep it. It also has a spot removal to like buy time. Having already like Necromancy and Grave Titan, I think is decent. But yeah, I mean, I would have loved one of those lands to be something else to stem the bleeding. But that didn't happen this time. Okay, opponent has a Mox as well, so we're looking at 3-drop turn 2. Yeah, that was bad. There is a small consideration for going passing with 7 with the agenda to next turn pass with 8, get Grave Titan in the yard, but Necromancer being a 3-mana reanimation, I think it's too far off. Let's see what happens here. Lurrus. Lurrus is strong. Probably have to kill it. So what happens if I kill Lurrus? I mean, I have Black Lotus in my deck, so it isn't a 0% chance that that ends up being my play. Oh, okay, you have to do it the other way around, I guess. Let's see, like this. Does that work? Yeah. Yeah, we have to get Lurrus off the table here. Opponent is grinding super hard here. Able a great draw. So we get the 2/2 already. Then we bin the Grave Titan and reanimate it next turn. Draw into more stuff. At least we make a Grave Titan next turn. Yeah, Fable was awesome. Not only enabling my hand, also digging into more stuff. Because that's the difference between Fable and a Putrid Imp card. Putrid Imp is only like, oh, is this Pest Infestation? Oh, Giver. Okay, we can beat that card. Passing with 3 mana. Counterspells are good. Can't really stay around counterspells. Faithless Looting. Get rid of that, get rid of that. Our Covenant could be great later. Let's play around Miscalculation by attacking first. Let's try and play Necromancy. Right now, I'm actually thinking about Containment Priest. Okay, Containment Priest wasn't it. Huh. I think I'm supposed to play this Imp because there could be some kind of Palace Jailer subgame. Let's see what the opponent's doing end of turn here. They must be doing something. I just don't know what. Maybe the what's it called? No, I was thinking about Unexpectedly Absent. One has 6 cards in hand. They play a deck full of white removal. Which one is it gonna be? I really don't know. I wonder if it really was just miscalculation. Huh. Opponent is passing once again. I draw him to Torok. That could be insane. I'm actually gonna lead on him to Torok. Because there's some cards like no, the Emperor is gone. Okay. Then I'm not sure. Let's see, what do we have here? 5 mana. Unexpectedly Absent. Getting the Titan out of there. That's the card I expected my opponent to have last turn. Getting the Titan out of there is fine. So it's underneath. Okay, so we're gonna find that Titan eventually. Okay, I hit 2 lands. That's terrible. We can even find that Titan now almost. So we can attack for 6 here. I'm not sure I'm supposed to play that Faithless Looting because I actually like Fire Covenant for later. Not attacking with that card. If I really wanted to pressure damage, I cast Faithless Looting now. That would have granted me Threshold, and this would have been more damage. It's not impossible. I should have done that. Let's see. I pass here, holding up Fire Covenant. My opponent seems incredibly flooded this game. Or I just left all the good stuff here with the... Okay. The Wrath is fine. Land. So what's the reason my opponent didn't... I'm still thinking something along the lines of miscalculation. That I exactly beat last on the Grave Titan turn. Because otherwise you just slam this for 6, I feel like. I guess I just take the turn now. Archon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Maybe I'm supposed to save towards Archon. Is that reasonable? Save towards Archon. Maybe I pass once again. Yeah, let's pass here. So I pass the turn. Then end of turn, my plan is to make a Goblin copy. But then from there, things get complicated. I still have the read that my opponent has miscalculation. That's just a reason to hold up mana on that turn, a reason to not pay this for full retail. Time will tell if that's true. Guess I should have kept count on when I'm drawing Grave Titan. Could be in like 2 draws. Really not sure. Wonder what the opponents are going to do here. I'm guessing Vigilance. Vigilance works. I take 3. I have to think about my life total at least for Fire Covenant purposes. Touch the Spirit Realm. That works on the Reflection, I guess. Let's see. Reflection is gone. Does it make any sense? I don't think it does to do anything here. Oh, okay. The opponent's last card was nothing. If I draw land, I hardcast Archon this turn, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Hardcast Archon is most likely going to do it. Let's get in with these boys. Opponent will block the Goblin and take 4. Then I play Archon. And unless my opponent is some kind of magician, that's all she wrote. Archon of Cruelty. I draw into what I think is Grave Titan. Opponent sacrifices Giver of Runes, I guess. Okay, I draw into Troll. So Troll is interesting because it lets me shuffle on my upkeep if that's what I want. Yeah, that's just game over. The opponent didn't really stand a chance with this land spell combination, right? The Lure's Bauble opening was super scary, but if you draw Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana sources to go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spells. You're not gonna beat like a super bread and butter serviceable, maybe even great reanimator draw. Like that's just not gonna happen. So thankfully for us, that's part of our deck's strength. That if the opponent doesn't do anything, meaningful, we have the means to just bury them with little time to get back into the game. Yeah, we were lucky to win without the Fire Covenant. I was expecting this card to like kill 2 or 3 creatures in the mid game and really do it to the opponent, but yeah, we didn't need to this time around. Fable of the Mirror Breaker showing not only pitching the Grave Titan, but also ramping up to Hardcast Fatty. Great card. 10 out of 10 for sure. Okay. That's it for the semifinals. That means next up we're playing for all the marbles. We're playing for the right to draft once more. So yeah, let's do our best to try and get it. See you there. Okay, here we go. The final of the first draft pod in the 64-player Vintage Cube tournament. I'm on the play, playing against the only other 2-0 player in our pod. An opponent who managed to beat 2 good players in route. I just checked he played against Budakov and maybe Bernardo in the first round. I'm not too sure about that. So what about this hand? We have turn 1 Duress, turn 2 Bat, and then we're basically just waiting for a discard let for Emrakul. Okay. So a lot of the opening hands with this deck is about the potential of the hand, right? It's very rare you're just going to have all the pieces and everything is perfect. I'm excited to see what we're up against. Let's do a guess here. So I just played against White Red. I played against my previous opponent, which was like basically mono white. Huh. So is this some artifact or green? That would be my best guess. Seems like we're playing against green, so I can go Duress away the Minskin Boo. I'm not really worried about the Weather Seed. Then next turn I can bat and take either the Weather Seed. Oh, what's this? Oh, damage from the Stomping Ground. I was about to ask. What is going on? Grief is not what we want right now, I think. Unfortunately, you can't grief yourself like on Mask. Let's play the bat, see if they found anything better than... They did find a Flame Slash. Let's see, am I taking the Flame Slash? Flame Slash could be good later. Yeah, maybe that card's fine to take. Let's see. So it's down to Weather Seed, Sakura, 2 weird lands for a green X. And the freshly drawn card. Let's see what the opponent does. Go for a basic land tap. Create a 1/1. Try and attack for some damage. That card is maybe not the worst. Definitely not the best. So how can we crush our opponents? Putrid Imp, Faithless Looting, Fable, and I think I have one more. Bone Shards. We have some good outs here. Swamp is not exactly it. Play the Swamp so I can hardcast Grief next turn. Nothing else happens. Get in the air. Bolster my life total a little bit. Overall, not exciting. I think I have one more way. Yeah, rank. No, Rankle doesn't work. Rankle doesn't really work. Kind of annoying the opponent is putting into play some, bad permanents. So maybe they can beat late game Emrakul. But that's a big maybe, I guess. Because at that point, they will also need a flyer to not just die to the card. Dark Slick Shores, we knew about that. That has been played. Is Sakura just getting played here? Okay, so now we don't know anything about our opponent's hand. If they don't attack here, I guess I'm a little bit scared. No attack, so that could mean 2-mana counter. I mean, Grief is not the worst thing to get caught by a counter, so... Rankle. No, I'm gonna grief here. I'm gonna grief. I'm gonna grief, baby. I'm expecting Mana League or Miscalc here, to be honest. The no attack from the Halfling was strange. No. Huh. Okay. Big Nissa is very hard to beat, so I think we live with Dak Faden. Attacking in the air. I mean, I have some evasive damage going on here. I can even go... My opponent gets to loot one time with Dak, and then I can use Rankle and Bat to just kill the Dak. So Dak was like a faithless looting, right? Okay. So now the opponent can give a creature +3/+3 and trample until end of turn. Kind of underwhelming. And what now? What? Does this card die? Yeah, that card dies now. So opponent's getting in there with a 4/4. So if they drew a bad card, they go Dak. If they drew a good card, they play that card over Dak. Or do both. I actually like that Sentinel. That's just like a bread and butter card that gets the job done. Mapping on the Halfling. Don't hate that. Don't hate that play. So now that's a 2/3. Am I in the market to block? I mean, I'll take away some mana from the opponent and a permanent. My plan is kind of the Emrakul plan. Not quite there yet. I can make both players draw a card on Rankle. Maybe draw one and also discard. Since I know I have a crapper in hand, my opponent has a decent card. Let's try that. I've actually never done that before. I didn't play Rankle that much in Pioneer. So we both discard, and then we draw random. That's good because my opponent's card Dak is decent, and my Swamp is kind of terrible. So discard the Swamp. Sure. Draw him, which is not the best one. I want to draw a random card. I'm doing fine in this race. There's even Shallow Grave Grief, let's say I get closer to the Promised Land. Let's F6 here and let my opponent have their fun. Couple of unknown cards in the opponent's hand. I wonder... Oh, they left the Demonic Tutor on top with the map. I didn't pay attention. So now the opponent has access to the best card in their deck, which is scary, a scary prospect. If that card is something like past a turn type card, Hymn to Torek becomes great. If they play it out immediately, the impact is a little bit lower. Theoretically, they could have Tinker. Attacking with Sentinel gives them an artifact. That's like some of the worst case I can think about. Maybe they're Channel Eldrazi. Not too sure. Opponent attacks for 4. Get a map. No blocks. I'm at 14. Opponent's at 11. Land. Demonic Tutor. Okay, so I guess my opponent's playing the best card in their deck right now. Grist is good, so now the opponent can go sack the Saproling, kill Bat, get back Flame Slash, kill Rankle. That was very strong. Curtains. Curtains doesn't do anything right now. It does present a removal for Grist, I guess? Yeah. I'm really hanging on to this Shallow Grave. I think that card can win me the game. Drawing a couple of discard spells. after the opponent went hellbent is not really ideal, but that's how it is with decks like this. You have to live with the highs and the lows. So the opponent can go make a creature off Grist. Yeah, this has Vigilance. That's actually annoying. Yeah, I think this is reasonable to keep my opponent busy. Because I need to buy time. This Emrakul is a one kills in one swing, right? Let's see what the opponent found here. Minus, very strong. So now the clock is kind of ticking, especially if the opponent hits a land. Makes a token, mapping onto the token. A Tali, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I imagine my opponent's binning the Atali, but let's see. They kept the Atali. Okay. Does that make sense? Now they're mapping once more, looking at the same Atali, now binning it. Okay, so the opponent changed their mind, I guess. Forced in his... Ooh. I didn't think about this for last turn. Ah. Is it time to him to Torag myself, hoping to hit exactly the Emrakul in the Torsten? That's 1/3 of a chance. The alternative is... No, wait. Oh, I just for a second thought I could like put Shellgrave on the stack and then him. Ah, okay. So if I do that, I have a third chance of being able to animate. Remember, I might even... No, I can at least change the order of those two. So I have a 1/3 of a chance to attack with Lethal Emrakul and win the game on the spot. If I don't, I give myself, I think, just one more draw, right? This is 6 damage. Then it's 7. I mean, yeah, I think I have to do this, even though it sucks. I'm to torque myself. Hmm. It worked! Oh my god. Wow. 1/3 of a chance. Let's go. That's but it's better than trying to draw something like I have one more turn to do it. Yeah, I didn't even... I'm super happy I thought about that play. I could easily have forgot about that play. Okay, so we managed to snag game 1 here. Opponent is sacrificing 6 permanents. Okay. Great. So the opponent showed... I'm trying to think if you play a Tali if you're only... Like, you can only ramp it out. I guess you do. But I'm expecting some kind of sneak attack to get in there. So funnily enough, the opponent has now presented us with the 3rd deck in a row where sweepers and stuff like that seem great, which says a little bit about the format, I think. I think against red-green, the Shallow Grave Emrakul is awesome, but also not very reliable just in general. So I'm going to do the same swap as the other times. That's how I remember it anyway. There's something to be said about the Fiery Confluence actually not being that great in the mid-game. Like, if we stomp their early development, the Confluence is not that sick later. Okay, I'm actually gonna go a little backwards here. Let's see if I can fit... Oh, question becomes, do I just want Molten Collapse then? or the Emrakul thing. I think I just want multiple apps that like terminate with sauce on it. Oof. Him to trigger yourself to enable Shallow Grave the Emrakul. Sometimes it's your day. What do we think about this hand? The fact that it has Fable to swap like some bad lands into actual cards is gonna make me keep it. Going with no play turn 1. I draw a terrible swamp. I'm trying to think if turn 1 Putrid has any value. What if it gets killed? I don't mind, actually. Okay. Let's just play that Putrid to make my opponent a little bit scared. The reason why I'm playing it is I have like 2 lands I don't care about for Fable already. So this is kind of a, I'm going to say a free roll, but it's like, if this stays in play, my draws have potential down the line, like Recurring Nightmare, that kind of stuff. Also, the opponent might just be super scared about getting Emrakul again, so they might want to kill the Imp, in which case it trades with a card. I like that. That is exactly what's going to happen here. Opponent has a 4-3 in the bank. Yeah, this draw is very unexciting. I need the Fable trigger to happen, and I need the Fable trigger to find actual cards. This is horrible. Let's see if the opponent has a better play than Bone Crusher. They think they did. The Sentinel. I play Fable after drawing another land. Yeah, this might not cut it. I think the bad end of this deck is not good enough to win a pot finals realistically. Valky only takes creatures, if I remember correctly. So now they see the terrible hand. I mean, it is good timing for the opponent because realistically, I have a fatty in hand here, and I want to use the Fable to bin it. So the timing was good on the Valky. Just doesn't do anything here. The opponent can freely attack with Sentinel. They can even double map onto the Valky if they want to try and get it out of Arc Trail reach. Gonna take 3 here. So the opponent either wants to double map onto the Valky or just has a straight up better play in hand. Otherwise, they would have pumped the Sentinel. Forest. Put into hand and does not grow it. Breeding Pool, same thing. Okay. You may discard up to 2 cards. I think I know which. Okay. So if I attack with the Shaman, Valky just trades with it. So I would have to shoot Valky for 1, Sentinel for 2, then attack to keep it. I think that's worth it. So I go 2-1 attack. This is trying to make the best of a terrible situation. Let's see. Okay, the opponent doesn't want to trade. Makes sense. Now I play land, then I can hard cast Troll next turn. And I flip the Fable into a mirror reflection of Kiki-Jiki, so theoretically, I mean, copying Troll is annoying down the line. I'm dreaming big here because I'm really in trouble this game. I need my opponent to have like the most fair draw in the world and be in trouble against a couple of trolls. Alternatively, I need to draw like Grave Titan or something. Mapping onto Sentinel. Kind of a good news, I guess. Opponent found Minskin Boo for next turn. They accept. Is this Bone Crusher? That is Bone Crusher. Okay, so this is the problem. So now I can attack with this, play Troll. Yeah, Of course, my opponent eats the goblin. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I didn't even need to attack. Huh. Yeah, that was not good. It was way better for me to hang on to the 2/2 and then stack another treasure token. I miscounted there. Okay, well, let's see if that's blessing in disguise or not. My draws this game were just terrible. It's a magic. It's a miracle I'm still in the game. Like Putridum, Arch Trail, Fable, and only mana sources aside from, I guess, the troll. Let's see if we can have a miracle here. I think we really need one. My opponent has 6 cards in hand. One of them is a Minskin Boo. So what am I going to do if the opponent attacks first? Maybe I have to take the damage. Can't be right. Yeah, maybe I have to. Maybe I have to take the damage here. If I block, the opponent can go Minskin Boo. Can't trip away the hamster to kill the troll and draw a card. I'll try. I'll try to take the damage here. 8 damage is a lot, though. 8 damage is a lot. I also have a land with Menace that might come in handy. I think my way to win this game is like, I was about to say draw Grave Titan. I think that's still the plan, to be honest. If I draw Grave Titan and play it, have some blockers. Flame Slash was annoying because that was like a cheap way to get rid of my ability to copy a fatty. Right now, the opponent doesn't really know about my like recurring nightmare necromancy part of the deck. Opponent flips Spellseeker and keeps the Spellseeker. Let's see. Sylvan Caryatid. Grave Titan? Grief. Grief is most likely not going to do anything else but just give me a little bit of information going into game 3. Snapcaster. So Time Walk is gone. What if my opponent goes Snapcaster, Flame Slash? Attack with both, I block. I mean, I don't think I'm in a position to worry about what's coming out of the opponent's deck with Spellseeker, but if it's just anything of relevance, like Chain Lightning, Burst Lightning, whatever, I'm just toast. Yep, let's get this last piece of information out of the opponent before the inevitable last shuffle. Lightning Bolt and Flame Slash, those are good to know about, especially because leaning on Rankle becomes terrible in that situation. Okay, so the opponent's kind of red-green based mid-range with, yeah, just overall good card quality. So if I can, like, kill their mana dork, I think if I produce a fatty, they're in bad shape to deal with it, which is very good for me. So Rankle isn't really the best against Lightning Bolt. I'm willing to, maybe not the Shadow, maybe just re-inject the combo, actually. Find one more cut. Maybe it's Molten Collapse. Yeah, maybe it's Molten Collapse. Or Arc Trail, I guess. Does Arc Trail ever kill 2 things against that deck? Okay, we tried this. Game 3, this is it. This is whether we're toast or the opponent's toast. Okay. On the draw, I would actually be excited to go to cleanup and just pitch the Archon. On the play, if I don't do anything turn 1, I don't do anything turn 2, but of course discard the Archon. Then turn 3, I can kill a small creature. Turn 4, I can kill a bigger creature. That way, let me just count when I'm then I'm making Necromancy, Animate Dead, Recurring Nightmare in combination with a creature. I'm making those 3 cards. And Shallow Grave, good draws. Oh my god. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna pass here. Yeah. So tough, right? Because this hand is already like a mold of 5 if we're playing normal Magic. And if I also need to find a discard outlet, I don't think this hand is good enough. This is a tough way to potentially go, right? Okay, that draw makes it very worth it. I discard the Archon. The dream is now I get to kill a 2-drop on my opponent's side of the table. I think I play around Wasteland if given the chance here. Opponent with some strange Grixis mana here out of the Lighted Halfling deck. Archon's in the yard. The opponent can't really play around. Oh, I'll play around Reanimate by... Like, they just need to make their best play. Now they've Valky. See the kind of bad news, right? They take the Emrakul. I think I just killed the Valky off with Bloodchief's Thirst. If I don't have anything better to do. Just imagine drawing Black Lotus now. Recurring Nightmare. Okay. So let's Bloodchief's Thirst the Valky. Get back the Emrakul. It doesn't do a whole lot, but it's still good for, let's say my opponent plays like a very good 3-drop next turn. Then I make sure Archon takes care of that card by getting rid of the small creature, right? There's green. Swamp. Let's try and animate the Archon, see what kind of counterplay we're working with. Opponent discards a card. I draw a card, which is pretty awesome. Unless I'm enabling some crazy reanimation on my opponent's side. Okay, this could get... my opponent could be the Corpse Dance deck. Corpse Dance end of turn? Oh, dodged it. I dodged it. So... Double burn? Okay, double burn. That works. The thing about double burn is I've drawn Recurring Nightmare and a creature in the meanwhile. Lotus? That's not a Lotus. So what I am going to do here is play the curtains and not expose the Recurring Nightmare to disenchant effects. I think that's better than the other way around. Even though we know our opponent's deck has a copy of Snapcaster. I mean, Snapcaster kill off the concealing curtains is not unheard of in this spot. Spellseeker. What are you looking for? Ancestral Recall. Beautiful. Okay, so my opponent's gonna give me a run for my money here. Opponent with a lot of resources, which is exactly what Archon's kind of, you know, trying to drain the opponent for. So, Recurring Nightmare, Animate Archon. Sacrifice Curtains. Recurring Nightmare goes back to a hand, which is kind of cool. Spellseeker gone. Opponent's hand shrinks. And I draw. My life total is super healthy here, so Fire Covenant could, in a world where my opponent is trying to, you know, brawl basically with the Archon. Also, I think my opponent's 4-color non-white, so ways to exile the Archon are, that number is kind of low. Dismember could be a good one. Sylvan Caryatid hits the bin, makes sense. Like, summoning Sickness dies to Archon, etc. Yeah, I'm ready to get like sneaked or something. I think that's like my biggest fear right now is the opponent is like red-green sneaky boy. Land. 4 mana. 5 mana. Escape to the Wilds. Look, depending on my opponent's deck, that's fine. Okay, they hit Seal of Removal, which is funny. Seal of Removal is a card that does the trick here for the opponent. Land. No shock. Seal of Removal. That's a good one here. I'm once again thinking about going like discarding to hand size, which is kind of funny. Like, I don't have a creature right now, so discarding to hand size might be bad. Let's see. Well, okay. So actually, what I could do is Fire Covenant, but that's just bad. I think I'm not supposed to do that. What I can do is pass the turn. I think that's actually reasonable to get it in the yard so that whenever I draw a creature, the opponent's in trouble. But I do have 5th land and 6th land in hand. That's not nothing. Tough decision. I'm going to discard the Archon. The opponent got rid of it for the 2nd time. And now the opponent can play some mid-range cards out that I can deal with pretty easily, right? Let's say they go Minsk and Boo, Sentinel. I can just like get rid of those, untap, Molten Collapse, the Boo, the Planeswalker that is. Guess the Planeswalker is Minsk. Token is Boo. This is a good play from the opponent. They go Minsk first. If they went with another creature first, they could have saved some life on Fire Covenant. Still think this is a good time to Fire Covenant. Like this turn cycle, that is. Land. Is this Sentinel? Come on, play the Sentinel. That is Sentinel. Okay. So maybe I even get to fizzle a map token here. I take 8, go to 18, clean my opponent's board, untap, kill Minsk and Boo. Yeah, this is not terrible. Fiery Covenant, divide 8 damage in response. Fizzle a map. Kill 2 things. Untap, deal with the Boo. Question is if I deploy my Nightmare. I don't think I do. Forston doesn't really change my plan. Boo's gone. I think I play my land now. But no Nightmare, right? Yeah, no Nightmare. It'd be so bad to have that killed. It's like my way to win this game, I think. Shallow Grave, any creature, Necromancy. I'm trying to think about what are my creatures. So I have Putrid Imp, I have Deep Cavern Bat, I have Ophiomancer, I have Fable, I have kind of Grief, I guess. Yeah, Grief counts. That's fine. One has 4 cards. All I have to defend myself is a dismember. So if he has any fatty, like in the Itali tier, I just lose. Like, I've had Archon in play twice. My opponent's done a very good job. Obviously, Ancestral Recall, Escape to the Wilds, that's like a great way to fight back on resources. And then, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do with the double burn spell and the seal of removal. Not really what you're hoping for, but it's fine. This is a lot of mana. Let's see if my opponent's gonna send me packing here. Or we can eke out a win. 6 mana. I don't like that. Is this Mind Twist? Boy, that would be brutal, brutal way to get punished for the recurring nightmare. Not playing the recurring nightmare, that is. Yeah. Let's see it. Also, the Emrakul will shuffle my yard, so that would just put me in a deep hole. Playing Mind Twist in a deck with Spell Seeker also makes a bit more sense, even though you obviously play the Seeker no matter what if you have Ancestral Recall. The opponent is rethinking their strategy to put me down. By the way, I love the artwork on this one. I think it's the same guy that's on Show and Tell, but I'm not really sure. It's just the same style, I guess. Maybe it's just the same artist. I don't know. Opponent shocks from Stomping Ground. Can't say I love that. So this is just kill my whole hand, play the Dak Faden. No, pay life. I don't even know what this is. Oh, Nissa. Okay. Opponent's playing Nissa with mana up. Opponent plays a 6/6, which is a very good size. Well, Grave Titan is a card I really enjoy. Oh, it's because the opponent didn't have any more green mana. Now I see they're not necessarily holding up anything. Like I was thinking, what's the 3 leftover mana for? But they didn't have quad green. That's why. Oh my god. Oh, what a game. Grave Titan hits the field. Great draw, obviously. That's just great on its own. Great with Recurring Nightmare. Beardane, yeah. Great idea. I'm trying to think about the overrun effect of this card for each forest. So that's +3/+3. That is nasty if the opponent manages to assemble some kind of tokens. They put 1 card on top. That is, at this stage of the game, that's terrible news for me. 7/7 hits the field. Some insane card hits the field. I can imagine here. I don't even know what this is. Ow, Virtue. A. So, huh. Okay, so I think it's pretty reasonable if I go. I need to think about my opponent's yard. They have a Tali down there. Tali can be super brutal. What do I have? Nothing aside from that Archon. So what I could do is I can Recurring Nightmare twice. Grave Titan out. Zombie. So I get. Let's see. I have a couple of options. I can attack, like pressure the Nissa, dismember the Horror, then go Recurring Nightmare, sack the tapped zombie for Archon. So let's see, what does the opponent lose here? Then they lose a 6/6 or the Walker. Then they get to reanimate. I think I'm in decent shape here. Just have to like get over the line here and not trip on my own shoelaces. Kind of want to pressure that Nissa. Okay. Oof. What a game. Attack Nissa here. Get 2 fresh ones. I'm gonna enjoy those zombies, I think, on the defense. What a beautiful game. This really came down to the wire here. So let's see. Definitely gonna dismember here. Oh, maybe my opponent doesn't want the Grave Titan to die, so they don't want to, like... Huh. They don't want to allow me to, what's it called? Like, loop Grave Titan. Let's see. Dismember that to keep the Titan in play. Then Duress. Then Recurring Nightmare. Okay, so let's dismember there. Damage happens. I Duress, just in case my opponent's last card is sick. Okay, it really wasn't, but it's all good. Recurring Nightmare. On Archon, sacrifice the tapped zombie, trying to mitigate what my opponent can do with the Virtue. Opponent needs to sack Nissa or the 7/7. Oh, I guess the Duress didn't make any sense. That was a terrible, terrible Duress. That's funny. So I could have saved 2 life. Okay. Could have saved 2 life on Dismember. So now the opponent needs some great hits from Itali. Yeah. Itali is the target. I could have been at 20 life here. Kind of sad about that. Opponent hits Faithless, Looting, and... is that Lelia or Sakura? Okay, Lelia. Fair enough. That card is probably beatable. They did not play Faithless Looting because they didn't want to just effectively mill themselves, and they didn't want to put that card in my graveyard. That makes sense. I need to learn about Itali now, I guess. If Itali transforms, it is a 11/11 Tremble Indestructible with basically Infect. Oh my god. Fair enough. Not sure the opponent can attack here. They're gonna do they're gonna try that. I mean, I'm gonna block with Archon. The opponent could have drawn... Actually, the opponent could have drawn Snapcaster Mage. What would that do? Snapcaster, Lightning Bolt to kill it. I'll just double block with a couple of zombies. Am I gonna regret that? I think it's fine. Now I think because of Recurring Nightmare, my opponent needs some pretty insane stuff. Stomp. Reasonable. I think now, what can my opponent do if I just attack with Archon? Isn't that just game? I'm pretty sure it's just game because I can also loop it with Recurring Nightmare. That was an insane game. Really just... I had Archon, I needed Archon 3 times to beat this guy? That's... Oof. Getting in there. The opponent sacrifices. What a game. I needed 3 Archons to beat my opponent, and then all of the... In the end, they succumbed to the pressure. Wow. Whew, I need a small break here. I need like some food, a glass of water. But when we come back, So I guess that'll be in the next video. We're looking to draft in the top 8. We managed to win our pot. Obviously, super excited for that. My deck was super spicy. Black-red Reanimator, some cheaty stuff, some solid mid-range stuff. And we managed to get the 3-0. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching, and see you next time.